Welcome to Wrestler of the Week, week number 9. It pretty much works like this. If you are a professional wrestler and you made the most impact on the industry over the past 7 days, you will be named Wrestler of the Week. Every week, points will be tabulated, and at the end of the calendar year, whoever collects the most points will be named the male and female Wrestler of the Year. If you want to check out what I use as criteria for Wrestler of the Week, be sure to check out my week 1 episode. We are just off the heels of the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and there is a lot to unpack this week. So we're going to get just into it, and we're going to do something very special because it is a WrestleMania-sized Wrestler of the Week. We are not going to do a top 10, but a top 15. So let's just go. No honorable mentions this week. Let's just get into the top 15 for the women. Kicking off the countdown at number 15 is both Masha Slamovic and Syuri, where Slamovic defended her JCW title that ended in a 30-minute time limit draw. This was an okay match that felt like it was more of a tease for what they can do if they really kick it into another gear, but this was one of the more higher profile female matches this weekend. They traded near falls back and forth, especially near the end of the match, but the time limit ran out, and I am very intrigued to see what these two can do in a more focused match. Coming in at number 14 is the trio of Thea Hale, Kalani Jordan, and Fallon Henley, who won a very energetic 6-woman tag at NXT Stand and Deliver. This was a very good match to showcase precisely how deep NXT's women's division is, and personally I believe that Kalani Jordan was the star of the match. At the end, Thea Hale locked Izzy Dane in a Kimura lock, forcing the tap out and the win. I am a fan of all 6 ladies in this match, and I am very happy that NXT has created a secondary title for the women. Also, at the same time, it was great having this match at Stand and Deliver that didn't need a title. Kudos to all, but specifically our winners who land at number 14. At number 13, we have Defy Women's Champion Vert Vixen, who defeated Jasmine Allure and Trish Adora to retain her title. It took a brainbuster, but eventually Vixen was able to get the pin to retain her title in what I thought was a very good match. Congratulations to the current champ. We have a brand new champion at number 12, and that is Saki Kashima, who defeated Mii Sarah and Ram Kaichou for the High Speed Championship at Stardom American Dream. This was a fast-paced match that saw Saki pick up the upset victory by pinning Sarah. This is Saki's second reign with the title, and it is an important moment as this was the first time the title changed hands outside of Japan. Like I always say, follow-up is key. Will we see a one-on-one match between Saki and Sarah? We will see, but Saki Kashima, your new Stardom High Speed champion, is at number 12. The number 11 entry is Rhea, who defended her Progress Women's World Championship against Lana Austin in a decent match that seemed to be more about Austin's character work and less about her trying to actually win the title. But at the end of the day, Rhea was able to overpower Austin with an air raid crash and package piledriver to retain the title. Rhea continues her reign with a pretty easy victory in my eyes to retain her Progress Women's World Championship, and that has her landing at number 11 on this list. Becky Lynch finds herself in the top 10, and she had an extremely busy week. Not only appearing on Raw and duking it out with Rhea Ripley before their WrestleMania match, but Lynch also became a best-selling author with her new book and has joined some of the other great wrestlers turned authors like Mick Foley, Bret Hart, and Eric Bischoff. Also on WrestleMania Saturday, Lynch put up an excellent effort against Rhea Ripley while suffering from a real illness. Becky toughed it out like a true pro and displayed exactly why she is one of the major stars and leaders of the women's division in WWE. The man may not have gained the WWE Women's World title, but she still made major mainstream career moves and showed true grit that would make most people crumble. Congrats to Becky Lynch for all of her accomplishments this week, and she lands at number 10. Number 9 is Julia, who made a shocking and truly earth-shattering appearance at NXT Stand and Deliver, signing with the company, and now the biggest female free agent in the world has a home, and it is with the biggest promotion in the world. If anyone has not seen a Julia match, check out pretty much anything she's done in Stardom. She is up there with Asuka and Io Sky, and at 30 years old, if she is able to overcome any cultural barriers, the Joshi star just may surpass them. Julia, just like with Jade Cargill, is a heavy investment WWE is making towards the future of their women's division, and it looks extremely bright. Give Julia an Asuka or Io Sky-like run in NXT and I'll be a happy camper. But Julia has made her decision. It is big and it will be life-changing for her. Congratulations, Julia. Welcome to WWE. She finds herself at number 9. The number 8 entry is the trio of Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi, who on WrestleMania Saturday pretty much dominated Damage Control to make a real statement and win their match. I love all 6 of the women in this match, but this existed as a showcase of Naomi's athleticism, Bianca's strength, and Jade's overall aura. In the end, Jade hit a glam slam on Dakota Kai to secure the victory. I believe the purpose of the match was threefold: to introduce Jade proper to the WWE Universe, to continue Bianca Belair's undefeated WrestleMania streak, and to plant the seeds of a possible feud between Jade and Bianca, and I believe WWE succeeded big time with these women. WWE's female roster is absolutely stacked, and I can't wait until after WrestleMania now to see what role everyone plays in this new era. Right now, Jade, Bianca, and Naomi are in the number 8 spot. The number 7 entry is the first ever Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion Billie Starkz, who had one of the most controversial matches of WrestleMania weekend at Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor. Starkz met up with Queen Aminata for a great hard-hitting match that seemed to have been tragically cut short when it looked like Starkz suffered a real neck injury in the match. And Ring of Honor sold the entire ordeal as the real thing. But it was all a ruse for Stark to catch Aminata off guard. She German suplexed the hell out of her and knocked Aminata out with a sleeper to win the title and put herself in the history books. This was a tremendous in-match heel turn, and I am stoked to see how a heel Billie Starkz carries herself as champion. This felt like a real watershed moment for Billie Starkz' career, and no one will be able to take away that she was the first Ring of Honor Women's Television champ. Congratulations to Billie Starkz, who lands at number 7. Former WWE Women's Champion Io Sky comes in at number 6, who gave everything and did everything she could to put Bayley away on WrestleMania Night 2 in one of the best matches in WrestleMania history for the WWE Women's Championship. The two would go back and forth, including a counter to Bayley's Rose Plant that is one of the damnedest things I have ever seen. I have been on the Io Sky bandwagon from her days in Japan. I named her as my Wrestler of the Year in 2020. Even though Bayley walked away as Women's Champ, this was Io Sky's coming out party, and I believe that she is now just at the start of her true run as a singles competitor in WWE. What a performance by both, but specifically Io Sky comes in at number 6. At number 5, we have the World of Stardom champion Micah, who defeated Megan Bayne to retain her World of Stardom championship at Stardom American Dream. This was one of Micah's higher profile wins, with spots like Micah hitting a beautiful Michinoku driver from the second rope. Most believed that this was the best match of the night, and it displayed how great both ladies are when given 15 minutes and told to just go for it. In the end, Micah was finally able to take down the monstrous Bayne, one of the few in Stardom to do so, and this was a statement victory for Micah, who sits on top of the world after defeating Utami Hayashishita. This was a great win, and it lands Micah in the number 5 spot. The number 4 entry is Athena from Ring of Honor, who retained her Ring of Honor Women's title in a war against Hikaru Shida. Athena concentrated on Shida's leg, but we would get spots like Shida hitting a crazy knee to block a spear attempt from Athena, code breakers, falcon arrows, and Athena powerbombing Shida on the floor. At the end, Athena hit the O-face with a little stank on it to get the victory, and this feels like a major stepping stone for Athena, almost like she is beginning to outgrow Ring of Honor as she approaches 500 days as champion. Is it time for her to move up to AEW? Time will tell, but what a great match and a great win for Athena, who finds herself at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is the new NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, who knocked off Lyra Valkyria to join Charlotte Flair and Shayna Baszler as the only 2-time NXT Women's Champions. Roxy and Lyra had a great back and forth, with Roxanne targeting Lyra's injured arm. Tatum Paxley got involved to no avail, and at the end, it was Roxy hitting pop rocks and getting Lyra to tap out to the crossface, and the Prodigy is back on top of the mountain of the NXT Women's Division. Roxy's heel turn has breathed new life into her career, and it feels like she is being rewarded for her hard work. I am down for everything Roxy and can't wait to see what happens next. Congratulations to Roxanne Perez, who lands at number 3. The number 2 spot goes to the new WWE Women's Champ Bayley, who won one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time against a very game and ready Io Sky. Io had all of Bayley's moves scouted and had a counter for almost all of them, but it was a top rope elbow followed by a rose plant for the victory. This is Bayley's 4th world title, but this feels like an entirely new Bayley who is going on an exciting new adventure. Will she spend this title reign making up for the mistakes she made while she was leading Damage Control? What kind of a fighting champ will she be? There are so many questions, but the main thing is that Bayley has exercised the Damage Control storyline and put on one of the all-time great WrestleMania performances. Congratulations to Bayley, the new WWE Women's Champ, who finds herself at number 2. And the female wrestler of the week is none other than the Eradicator and everyone's mommy, WWE World Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, who picked up what I believe is the biggest win of her career by defeating Becky Lynch clean as a sheet in the opening match of Night 1 of WrestleMania. It was a hard-hitting match with the man and mommy giving it their all, with Ripley hitting a frog splash, Becky landing a crazy Bexploder, and a crazy electric chair spot on the outside. At the end, it was a riptide on the turnbuckles, followed by a second riptide to secure the win and retention for Ripley. She is now well into a year into her reign and feels absolutely dominant. Rhea Ripley is a star. Period. Point blank. And she is one of the performers that will be carrying this new exciting era of WWE on her back. I am absolutely excited to see who is ready to step up to the plate now, but we knew how this would end. Mommy always lands on top. Congratulations to Rhea Ripley, the female wrestler of the week for week number 9. And now we are going to get into the top 15 for the men. Kicking off the countdown are a pair of tag teams that will meet in the AEW Tag Team Title Finals at AEW Dynasty. FTR and the Young Bucks, who both won their respective semi-final matches, and now the date is set for these two teams to go on a collision course at AEW Dynasty. The number 14 spot belongs to Jey Uso, who won the brother versus brother battle between him and Jimmy Uso. The match was okay, but the big deal was that Jey has been presented so much more of a star than Jimmy that it feels like Jimmy needs to be repackaged while Jey is ready to move on to bigger and better things. We got 1,000 super kicks in this match, but it was an Uso splash from Jay that secured the victory, and here's hoping that we keep these two apart for a while. But congratulations to Jay Uso, who is number 14 on the countdown. At number 13 is LA Knight, who picked up the biggest win of his career at WrestleMania Night number 2, taking out AJ Styles in a heated and hard-hitting affair. They charged at each other right from the jump, showing that hatred they have for one another, and it was really felt in this match. Knight would avoid phenomenal forearms and Styles clashes to eventually hit blunt force trauma on Styles and pick up the victory. This was Knight's first WrestleMania, and barring any tragedy, I am pretty sure this won't be his last. This was a great match that showed LA Knight can hang in the ring with the best of them. LA Knight comes into the countdown at number 13. At number 12, we have a trio of tag teams. First, A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory were able to retrieve the SmackDown Tag titles and become new SmackDown Tag Team Champs, while Awesome Truth pulled down the Raw titles during the Wild Six-Pack Challenge ladder match at WrestleMania Saturday. Also, the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, successfully defended their NXT Tag titles against a variegated Axiom and Nathan Frazier at NXT Stand and Deliver. WWE's tag division is absolutely overflowing, and it is to the point where Raw and SmackDown needed their own separate title. So I am happy they went in this direction. But congratulations to our trio of tag team champs. Just missing out of the top 10 is TNA X Division champ Mustafa Ali, who continues to shine on his own. At Revolver X Hog, he would successfully defend the title in a great match against Amazing Red, and at Impact, he would retain against Rhino in a hard-hitting match. Ali continues to prove that he can pretty much work any match with any opponent. Want a high-flying spot fest? Want a hardcore ECW-style brawl? Ali can give it to you and much more. As I've mentioned before, Mustafa Ali just comes off as a star, and it is really only a matter of time before TNA realizes that their best chance of making more money is to put their main title on him. Will it happen? Who knows? But Mustafa Ali is making a case for being one of the best non-WWE wrestlers working today. Mustafa Ali finds himself at number 11. At number 10 is Seth freaking Rollins, who had a hell of a week. First being all over WWE television to promote both the WrestleMania Night 1 main event tag match and his World Heavyweight Championship match against Drew McIntyre. Poor Seth, though, would have a rough weekend. Losing the WrestleMania Night 1 main event, then losing the World Heavyweight title to Drew McIntyre, and then he would even eat a Superman punch and chair shot from Roman Reigns on night number 2. But Seth was all over WrestleMania weekend and was a major part of it, even if things didn't go his way. It does feel like Seth may be taking a bit of a sabbatical, one that is honestly needed for his body to heal up, but I am sure when he returns, he will be better than ever. This week, Seth freaking Rollins comes in at number 10. The number 9 spot belongs to NXT North American Champion Oba Femi, who continues to dominate in his run as champ. This time besting both Dijak and Josh Briggs at NXT Stand and Deliver. Femi would be the difference maker with his size and freakish strength, at one point hoisting both Dijak and Briggs on his shoulders before dumping them like yesterday's trash. At the end of the match, Femi would powerbomb Dijak onto Briggs with a great shot of his hand entering the frame to goozle Dijak, and Femi would pin Briggs to retain the title. Oba Femi is the goddamn truth, and like another on this list, he has taken to professional wrestling like a fish to water. He has the look, the aura, the charisma, and he is improving in the ring with every new match. Femi is big, but he is going to be huge in WWE. The current NXT North American champ finds himself at number 9. Staying in NXT, we have the NXT champion Ilya Dragunov in the number 8 slot, who successfully defended his NXT title against Tony D'Angelo. I'll be honest, I really didn't think D'Angelo had much of a chance, but he did give it his all. It was not enough though, as Dragunov would hit an H-bomb on the outside and another in the ring to take the win and retain his title. Dragunov feels like he may have peaked in NXT, but at the same time, there are still a lot of potential battles he could have. I want Ilya versus Obafemi now. NXT champ Ilya Dragunov comes in at number 8. The number 7 entry is Logan Paul, who successfully fended off both Randy Orton and Kevin Owens to retain his WWE United States title in a wild sprint. KO and Orton did everything they could to double team Paul, and Orton would even take out iShow Speed, who was disguised as the Prime mascot, but after a monster RKO from Orton off of a KO pop-up powerbomb attempt, Paul would toss Orton out, hit a beautiful frog splash, and got the Duke. Look, personal views aside I may have about Logan Paul, it can't be denied that he is really fucking good at this pro wrestling thing, and he's only getting started. He is this generation's Kurt Angle in regards to how quickly Paul has taken to wrestling. With this major victory at WrestleMania Night 2, Logan Paul finds himself at number 7. The number 6 entry belongs to Mark Briscoe of Ring of Honor, who won a very emotional and stiff match against Eddie Kingston at Supercard of Honor to win the Ring of Honor heavyweight title. We saw Cactus Jack elbow drops, Fisherman Busters, Blockbusters, and Death Valley drivers, but in the end it was a Jay Driller that secured the victory and title for Briscoe. This was a moment that old school fans of Ring of Honor have been waiting for, and this was a great tribute to his brother Jay Briscoe as well. I am genuinely happy for him. Go on and celebrate, you crazy redneck. You have earned it. Mark Briscoe comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is the Bloodline, The Rock, and Roman Reigns, who had a lasting impact on both nights of WrestleMania. The Rock and Roman were all over WWE television leading up to WrestleMania. They did media, and on WrestleMania Night 1, Rock and Roman picked up the big victory, defeating Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. On Night 2, Roman would take control of the WWE Undisputed Universal title match before the Bloodline, including The Rock, would interfere. But this time, it was not enough, and the Bloodline succumbed to Cody and all of those who had it out for the Bloodline over the past 4 years, culminating in an unbelievable run-in by The Undertaker. The Rock was in tremendous condition and was the glue that held the Night 1 tag team match together. But now that the Bloodline has lost the WWE Undisputed Universal title, what happens next? Are we now officially on the road to Roman versus Rock? We will see, but the Bloodline comes in at number 5. The number 4 entry on this list belongs to Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, who at NXT Stand and Deliver had an all-out war and one of the best NXT matches of all time. It would be a great back-and-forth match full of heat and counters, and eventually Trick would get the biggest win of his career after a high knee. This is one of my favorite matches of the year. But what is even more significant is that Trick and Melo were the first all-African American main event on any WWE Premium Live event, so this was a major step for representation as well. It doesn't matter their skin color though. Both Trick and Melo are the truth, and I see them revisiting this feud in a future WrestleMania main event. But congratulations to Trick Williams for an amazing victory, and kudos to Carmelo Hayes for bringing the fire. They both find themselves at the number 4 slot. The number 3 entry is the new Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, who won an emotionally charged, hard-hitting match against Gunther and ended his 666-day reign, the longest ever for an Intercontinental Champion. Sami and Gunther would slap the hell out of each other, and there were moments where it looked like Gunther was just going to steamroll over Sami. But Zayn showed great grit and fire, hitting a hell of a kick to Gunther, who was sitting on the top rope, before delivering another to the back of Gunther's head for the 3 count, and Sami Zayn is now a 4-time Intercontinental Champion. This win, though, feels the sweetest, and now it is time for Sami and Chad Gable to probably melt some faces for the Intercontinental title, while Gunther prepares himself for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sami Zayn, with his historic victory, finds himself at number 3. We have a tie at number 2, and it is for Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, who both had an impactful night 2 at WrestleMania. First, Drew McIntyre would finally put Seth freaking Rollins away and win the World Heavyweight title in one hell of a match. But Drew's hubris got the best of him, and he mocked CM Punk, who was at commentary, to the point where Punk attacked Drew, and this opened the door for Damian Priest to come down and cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, only the second person ever to cash in at WrestleMania, and we have a new World Heavyweight Champion, and now the Judgment Day reigns supreme over the men and the women. This was just chaos in the best way, and I am intrigued at all the directions we can go with Damian Priest as champion. We got former and new World Heavyweight Champions Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest at number 2. And the Wrestler of the Week for week number 9 after WrestleMania weekend is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who finally finished the story and defeated Roman Reigns to become the new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion in a wild, chaotic, cathartic, insane ride on night 2 of WrestleMania. It took some help from Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, John Cena, and the goddamn Undertaker, but in the end, 3 crossroads later, the 1,316-day reign of Roman ended, and we have a new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion crown, and let me just say, as a Cody fan, this felt like vindication. Cody worked his ass off, returning to WWE after co-creating another wrestling promotion and returning to become the face of this company. This is Cody's first run with a WWE World title, and now that we have officially entered a new era, it will be a hell of a ride to see what kind of champion Cody will be. Congratulations to the brand new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, Cody Rhodes, our Week 9 Wrestler of the Week. Come and claim your kingdom. And now our standings for the men and the women. What a week. What a weekend. WrestleMania 40 is now in the books, and it was one of the greatest events of all time. Those last 2 matches on night 2 were a couple of the best of all time, but I really had to make sure that I got this Wrestler of the Week ready and on time for all of you. What did you think of my picks for Wrestler of the Week? Do you agree or disagree? Who would you pick as Wrestler of the Week for week number 9? share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.